is the study of human life as opposed to natural life. Scientists look at natural life, and humanities scholars look at human life. I look at food not because I'm really interested in who made the first butter tart or whether Nanaimo created the recipe for Nanaimo bars, but I look at food as an indicator of changing social values over time. So I'm really interested in human life and social history, and I just happen to use food as the lens through which I look at that. The first Canadian cookbooks were published in 1840, so it's not really incredibly far back, but we do go back. We consider the first period of Canadian food history to be contact and settlement. I don't think it's even a debate. I think it's obviously maple syrup. We produce close to 70% of the world's supply of maple syrup at the moment, so we are the largest producer. But the reason it's really interesting is because it's a product that really combines autochtone knowledge and the knowledge of the First Nations with European methods. Because when the Europeans first came, they noticed that the First Nations people were creating maple syrup, and they did it in two ways. They either froze the sap and then skimmed off the ice from the top, or else they heated it, but the way they did that was in large wooden containers, and then they put hot rocks in. So it was incredibly laborious, right? So as soon as the Europeans came with their metal cooking pots and traded metal cooking pots, it enabled the First Nations people to make maple syrup much more effectively. I think the most surprising thing, we are obviously an incredibly diverse country. So I think the debate in Canada is whether there is a single Canadian cuisine or whether it's a kind of quilt of different regional cuisines, right? And one of the most interesting things is that there are different forces at play between differentiation and homogenization that occur throughout the 20th century. And some of our most famous food celebrities, including people like Kate Aiken and Jeanne Benoit, really galvanized a shared sense of identity with Canadian cuisine, but they did it by emphasizing the diversity of cuisines. So it's a kind of irony that we think of, we are very, very proud of our food history and our traditions, but we're also fiercely proud of the fact that they're diverse and different. Food choice is something that everybody does. People choose and select foods on a daily basis. It becomes a wonderful indicator for changing values over time. And any historian is really looking for pivotal moments of change and tenacious continuity of habits and values. And food gives us that. It gives us a chance to look at those things. My project isn't really about food, it's about social history, right? And food is the lens I use to look at social history. I could use fashion, I could use a number of other things. So it's changed my way of looking at food because I think about what the language of food and the idiom, the stories that food selection and food choices tell us.